Well, since I'm a little over halfway now, I figured I would do the gear update video. And I'm actually camped at Burning Falls State Park, I believe, and had some great trail magic last night. Some people gave us some amazing chicken and some carnitas. And so it's been a good time, got a nice shower. So why not do a little update on my gear so far? And some of it's changed. Most of it has stayed the same as the initial video, and everything's been going pretty well. So first off, trekking poles, my Leckies. These have been great. They've worked out really well for me, both for hiking and for pitching my tarp. And the only thing I can complain about is that I had to change the tips out already. As you know, I did that in South Lake Tahoe. But they've been great. I mean, I think I just used them so much that the tips were bound to break at that point. Alright, this is my food bag. Is what it is. It works well. Although really, I would like to have a lot wider food bag as opposed to a tall one, just because it makes finding food so much easier. My quilt. This is my quilt. It's amazing. It's been working extremely well. I mean, even from the really cold night on Whitney to hot nights like last night, it's perfectly adaptable. On Whitney, I could bundle up and stay warm. Last night, I just leave my feet out, just barely cover myself, and it's still plenty. So the quilt's been great. One thing I noticed, when I made the quilt, I went with a bigger Caro step size. I think I would go back to the slightly smaller one. Mostly just because I've noticed overnight the down migrates sides of the quilt with this bigger box design. So I would definitely go with a tighter box. And if you don't know what I mean, this is a homemade quilt. I've got some videos on it if you want to check them out. This is my Neo Air X-Lite, and this has been absolutely incredible. I don't know if I could sleep very well without it. It's made every night on the trail pleasant. I can sleep where there's rocks on the ground and not even feel them. And it also insulates me very well. Even on the coldest nights, it was warm. And this is not the thermal model, so unless you're doing really deep winter camping, I think the normal X-Lite is plenty. Haven't had any problems with it, knock on wood, so that's pretty awesome. I actually expected that this might have a hole by now, but my inflatable pillow, this is essential as well. I definitely need a pillow. I normally have my layers on. I suppose I could use my down jacket. But it's just really nice to have a pillow like this, especially if I stay up and read a little bit, or even if I'm just sleeping, it's nice. And it's held up perfectly well. Let's see. Darn Tough socks, always the best choice. Those have been great. I've gone through a pair already, but that's kind of what you expect with over 1,000 miles. These are just my sleeping socks, Smart Wool sleeping socks. They're good for what they are. They're a bit heavy, but I'm kind of just saving them. I'm pretty sure it's going to get cold again up in Washington, and there's no reason to mail them home, really. They're not that heavy. Alright, my Capilene long underwear. As you know, these are from the AT, my pants. They are great. Wear them almost every night to bed, just to keep my quilt a little cleaner and for comfort. But they're amazing. They're not the warmest. I mean, I think merino wool is a little bit warmer, but these are so easy to use and long lasting that I really like them. A lot of the wool stuff just does not last, except for Darn Tough socks. This is the Capilene 4 long sleeve shirt, which I will definitely do a review on eventually. It is amazing. It's very warm, warmer than the Capilene 3, but lighter. And the only downside I can find is that on windy days, you really need like a wind shirt or something to break the wind, because the way this is baffled, the wind can just get right in and chill you. So Capilene 3 would probably actually be warmer on, unless you have a wind shell. And then Capilene 4 is definitely warmer. But it's lighter, so there's that. And these are just my sleeping shorts. I wear them with my long johns so I don't look ridiculous if I'm in town or something. Alright, Evernew water bladder has been great. It's a 2-liter. It's held up just pretty much similar to like a platypus, how that would hold up. How my platypus is starting to get some little lines in, but it's still working great for now. And actually, this is my Sawyer Mini filter. No need to get it out. Well, I guess I should. But yeah, the Sawyer Mini, it's been a great filter, and it definitely works well. But I have to say, and I'll definitely do a review on this later, I think the Sawyer Squeeze, the original Squeeze, is a better choice for through hiking. And the reason is, this thing, the flow rate on this thing is pretty low compared to the Squeeze. So you spend a lot of time sipping your water into your bottles. And also, because it's smaller, you have to back flush this thing a lot more. Pretty much every time I go into town, I back flush it. And I very rarely back flushed my other Sawyer Squeeze. So just keep that in mind. It's a great filter. Obviously, I think it's the best. But maybe for a through hike, the Sawyer Squeeze Original is better. Even though it's maybe 0.5 ounces heavier. It's really not that much heavier. But that's that. Alright, this is my Snow Peak titanium pot, same one from the AT. It's been great. Actually, I got rid of the lid and I use foil for a lid now, so that saves a little bit of weight. This is a new piece of gear that was not in the previous video. It's a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer wind jacket. And this has been great. This jacket weighs 1.5 ounces, I think. Extremely light. But I've used it a couple times with the wind. I used it on Whitney to insulate a little bit better, and it did help. It was definitely a little bit warmer. But honestly, I haven't had windy that I've needed this, now that I'm out of the desert. But what it's really good for is a laundry shirt. For whenever I go do laundry, I put this on, and it weighs 1.5 ounces. It's basically nothing. It can ball up into like, and takes up no room in the pack. It's definitely worth having, even if I just do laundry with it now. I'm sure it'll get some use though up north as it gets colder. Alright, rain jacket. I have not disregarded the rain jacket and maybe mailed it to the Oregon border. I don't know. But I guess it's better to have it just in case. These gloves I picked up in Lone Pine for this. Great. They're just Mountain Hardwear stretch gloves. Same thing for this beanie, Rab beanie, really light. Adds some warmth when I need it. My tarp has been incredible. However, I really haven't used it too much because you don't need to. I think I've probably pitched it 8 times now, 2 of which were for rain. But it's been so light, so compact, it's pretty nice. I gotta say, even though I made it, I'm really liking it. and keeps the rain out when it needs to. And it can be pitched in several different ways, and I've always been able to pitch it, so pretty cool. Rechargeable headlamp, Tika XP2 with the battery pack. Amazing as always. Don't need to buy batteries in town, I can just plug it in, charge what I've used. Highly recommend a rechargeable headlamp. And toothpaste, don't need to review that. A head net, bug net, head net has been essential for the bad mosquito times. Sometimes they are literally swarming, so definitely want to have that. And on the same lines, I actually picked this up from another hiker in Lone Pine. This is a mosquito net pyramid. It weighs 3 ounces. And it's super light, but it keeps the mosquitoes out. It's basically, you stake the 4 corners out and then a little pyramid tent to keep the mosquitoes out. And this has been great. For 3 ounces, it's a sanity saver, because there have been some nights where you could not cowboy camp without a net. Just way too many mosquitoes. And actually last night even, I'm still using it quite a bit. Last night there were a lot of mosquitoes, and this saved me for sure. So, while you definitely don't need it in the desert and through most of the Sierra, after that, mosquitoes can get pretty bad, so consider taking a bug net. And sleeping with a head net is not too fun. Alright, my down jacket has been great. I picked this up in Lone Pine as well. It's a Montbell, whatever the one with the hood is called, down jacket, and it's great. It's 9 ounces, so it's a lot lighter than my previous one, the Patagonia one, and it's a little warmer. And this is great when you're just a little cold and you need a little extra warmth. You just pull that over. Perfect. So that's been good. That's something I picked up on trail just because it was such a good deal, and it's gotten plenty of use, although not lately. There's been definitely no need for that. Okay, getting a little long on the video here, so I'll try to speed up. Smart water bottles are, and sunglasses, definitely use those. My rechargeable battery pack has been perfect. It's 6,000 milliamps, and it's been enough to keep everything I have charged between any town stretch I've been in. And I always have extra. My wool buff, good. I don't use it too much, and I accidentally did some bushwhacking, and now it's got a lot of holes in it. So, once again, wool is always delicate. And this is my newest acquisition. I sent home my gas stove and my canister to save some weight, and got a Vargo titanium wood stove. It weighs about 4 ounces, but I find wood everywhere, and as long as I keep a fire, nothing too crazy, I can cook all my meals on this. And I've had it, used it probably 3 times so far, and it's been amazing. It's amazing how fast this will boil water, actually. And it's really not much more of a hassle than a gas stove. You just kind of set the fire and put your pot on it. I'll do some reviews on that later though, but Vargo wood stove, very cool so far. Alright, and that leaves my umbrella, which was amazing in the desert heat, was amazing yesterday when it was really sunny and hot, and other than those times, I really haven't used it much. I'm kind of saving it for when it starts raining again. It'll be really nice to have this. So I probably could have sent it home, honestly, after the desert and picked it up maybe in Oregon, but I've used it occasionally. It's been nice. And that leaves my backpack. So this is the Crown VC, obviously, and it has been absolutely amazing. It's basically like they took an ultralight bag and then added some extra padding where you really need it. So it's a little bit heavier than most of the really light models, but it carries a load extremely well. It's been really durable, and it's super comfortable. Haven't had any problems. I highly recommend this bag. I'll definitely do a review on it when I get back. And only one thing I would say so far that has been bad about it. This strap here, which is the strap to the shoulder strap, it tends to rub on the hip belt right down here. So what I've done is put some duct tape around it, and I need to redo that. This duct tape's wearing off. But I was just worried that that would actually tear this shoulder strap eventually. So that's one thing. But anyways, that is my gear so far. This video turned out a lot longer than I thought it would be. I might have to post this individually. But yeah, it's all been working out really well. The Tyvek, which I haven't mentioned, has been working out really well too. And yeah, time to move on. Forward to Canada. Thanks for watching.